This video, I want to quickly walk you through what it takes to do seat modifications. This is a 22 Tesla Model 3 Performance, but I believe it applies to all Model 3s going back quite a few years, possibly to 2016. I believe the seat bases are identical. If not identical, they're very similar. I've been able to buy spare seats without much regard for, and they fit right in. Okay, so the problem that I'm trying to solve for myself, and I'll walk over to the passenger side, is the seat width. The seat is too narrow. These wings really bother me. That's a really narrow size from there to there, especially in the back. That's when it first started bothering me. It's after my first 3-hour ride, it really just hurt. It was just squeezing my hips. I'm over 6 foot tall, so my hips are proportionately wider. But this also bothered me in the end, so I ended up changing that too. So the driver's seat is a subtle difference. The wings are missing. So I'll show you how I did it, what's involved. I'll walk back around to the driver's side. This is the finished product. Okay, it looks pretty good. So the only thing you're going to see different, it would take a discerning eye. The wing is not high, but the pleat is still there. So it looks basically the same as the seat over there, but without the wings. So what I did is I took the seat bottom right out of the car, and then I modified it on the bench. Now I've not modified it like 6 times now to get this down to almost perfection. The best way to remove the seat is to first pull the bolts. You move the seat all the way forward. There's a bolt over here, there's a bolt over here. Then you move the seat all the way back. Oh boy, I had to shut the power off. Okay. Then you move the seat all the way back. And there's 2 bolts here, too. There's one right here, and there's one right there. It's going to take the special, this type of Torx. You just got to get the right size. I believe that's a 20. Okay, then once you get those out, the whole entire seat assembly you can rock back. That gives you full access to the bottom, and you really want that, otherwise it's really hard to do. When you rock this back, this plastic piece gets in the way. There's another bolt, it's another Torx, it's much smaller, right in there to screw. You pull that screw out, and this thing pulls right off. That gives you full access to both sides, the front, and then you tip the seat forward to get access to the bottom. And I'll show you on the bench what's involved. Okay, so over here we have a seat. I bought several spare seats to experiment. Here's a spare seat I bought on eBay, and you see it's still got the wings, everything's intact. So this is stock. What I did is I removed the cushion from the top, or the top from the cushion. When you remove it, this is a glue line. These are snaps here, here, and here, 3 lows. So these things snap into the bottom, and then this is glued. Okay, so you're gonna have to pull it off. Just pull it off carefully. You could use a little sharp knife. Pull it off, and then you have to unsnap this retainer, and then this whole top will come off. I get ahead of myself. Before you do that, you have to disconnect these two from underneath by pulling the seat off the floor. You'll get full access. These just snap on to the springs underneath. Then that's the two sides, here and here. The way this works is this is rolled over to the inside, and this snaps into the metal base. The same thing's true with the front, and the same thing's true with the other side. Again, keep in mind it's rolled over, so it's a little tricky to get at it. What could be helpful is when you're looking at, when you lift the seat up, so the seat's going to be movable because you disconnect it from the floor. You lift the seat up and you can look underneath. Okay? When you get underneath, this will be snapped into the rail this way. So if you need to, get yourself a little pick tool or a screwdriver to help you start it at one edge. Once you get it released on one edge, you just pull it all the way down, it'll come right off. To put it back on, you reverse the process. Now what I learned in the process is that in spite of, so I first started with square foam. I had it custom made, that's 12 by 12. That was okay, but I had an issue with this leading edge. It was a little sharp. And these wings actually were still an issue. An upholstery shop actually made this one to fit, and they glued it in. Yeah, they glued it in. I didn't like it at all. It's too hard a foam. And also the wings still bothered me. So what I did, the seat that's in the car, is I actually cut the wings off. Cut them right off. I use a knife. The best knife is to get either electric, or I just couldn't find quality electric. I found this high quality bread knife. Now it's got a serrated edge. It's extremely sharp, so be really careful. But the serrated really close together, but they're super sharp. And what you can do is, so I cut these wings from the back all the way to it's about flush with this part. And then, so that was all removed. Then what I did is I ordered a different fit. I made a custom foam that was trapezoidal. So because it's smaller in the back than the front, and I made it just an inch longer. I believe this was 12, so it was 13 by 12 or 13 in the back, and then 14 or 15 in the front. You can measure that, or I can give you the numbers. And then the problem though is when this compresses, that wing is still an issue. So I cut the wings off. I put this in. I didn't even glue it, just put it in. Then I put the seat cover back on the bench, wrapped it around, turned upside down, brought this across on both sides, clipped it, and then I placed the new seat on top in position on the metal base. And then I reversed the block process. As I said, I clipped these in. Probably best to start with the sides, which I think are the trickiest. And then the front. Get the front by tipping the whole seat assembly back so you get access. And then the back. The back, these things wrap around, and see the loop that goes down, hooks onto the metal spring. There's a coil spring underneath, flat coil spring. Now, word to the wise, this connector has a release. It's on the other end. It goes underneath the seat. You press the release and you pull this out. This connector, I believe, does not have a release. It just slips in, just 2 wires. This is the seat pressure switch, and this is the seat heat. So as you can tell, much thicker, much smaller. This one, be really careful. It has to go, this connector goes underneath the spring, and there's a clip to hold it in position. If you don't do that, it could come disconnected. If this switch becomes disconnected, you could have some intermittent problems with the car. Now, I finally got this done after all these changes, all these modifications, all these experiments, where this seat is really, really good for me. I'm really happy with it. I did taper. I took the trapezoid and I tapered the leading edge by using the knife. I just cut at an angle so it just wouldn't be as sharp on my hamstrings of my leg, inside the legs. So now there's no pressure. Now, a word for the wise, I was going over this earlier, I didn't finish. I learned this in the last iteration. Because these things were designed to be pinned down inside the cushion, but we're going to be pushing this up, so these will actually be felt by your body. So I removed these. I actually cut them off with the scissors, all 3, 1, 2, 3. Now on this thing here, what I did is I removed all the material that I could with the scissors, every bit of it. I did not dig into the actual top. I just removed this extra material. This is glued on. Fortunately, it's really tough to get it off. But I made this as small as humanly possible. So now, when I sit on it, these things, you can't feel these. They're no longer there. And you can almost not feel these at all. But even if you feel them ever so slightly, the cushion material I have is soft enough that it doesn't create a problem. So I think I'm done with these mods. If you need help, either find me online, I'm easy to find, or in the comments, ask me your questions. If you'd like me to modify a seat for you, I can. We just have to work out the details. Because I do have spare seats in stock, I could actually build one for you if that's what you wanted. You would have to either remove the seat from the car or have someone remove it and ship it to me, and I'll ship you a replacement. I could ship you the replacement ahead of time if you want. We can work that out. I've also made modifications to the headrest. The headrest was pitched too far forward, and what I did was I removed the headrest. It's a little tricky. I have another video how to do it, and I bent these bars so that the headrest was more straight. I hope you appreciate this, and I hope it helps you. Please give me a like. I'm going to be posting more videos. Subscribe if you're interested. Thank you. Oh, and in other videos I mentioned, I put in 2-dimensional rotating screen. It's absolutely fabulous. Right now I have my phone hooked up here. And I'll do other videos on those. And I solved the heat problem. I got these really nice ceiling, and then I put insulation. I have another video on that. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.